fine, thank you. Good morning to
Good morning,
everyone.
sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam
Good morning.
Monaji.
How was
Good
the
morning.
weekend, sir?
Very fine, very wonderful. Thank you. How about
Thank you.
yours?
Thank you.
Good
Fine, sir.
morning,
How
sir.
was NSP?
NFP data didn't come out as expected. We move. It's one of those things.
It is well. You're
Yeah.
welcome, sir.
We are really getting information that it looks like towards the US election, the dollar seems to be unstable, especially during fundamental release.
Okay.
That's supposed to be
Yes.
responsible for that, bad data that came. Because what came out was a conflict. We had a buy
Yes,
on
sir.
the average hourly earning, a sell on the non-farm. So just led to a spike in the
Yes.
market.
Yes, it's true.
It's one of those things that
Thank you,
happens
sir.
in trading. Well, but then
Yeah.
there are a lot of trading opportunities, precisely this week,
Mm.
which you can take advantage of.
Mm.
All right, so I want to welcome everybody
Thank
to a
you.
brand new week. Good morning, Mr. John. Good morning, Damilare, Tony, Azan, and every other person on the platform. So let's just get right into what we have for today and also general fundamental outlook for the week. So today is the 9th of September 2024. Let's look at what we have. Good morning, Biodun. All right, so today, Monday, we don't have any tradable event today. The one we have the CNY CPI, which already took place in the middle of the night, 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time. So that's gone. And tomorrow, Tuesday, now, because of time, I'll only pick on the important events. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 a.m., there'll be a claimant count charge from the United Kingdom. We can plan towards it exactly 7 a.m. tomorrow. And on Wednesday, there's GDP by 7 a.m. again, and a whole lot of events on Wednesday from the United States. By 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, there'll be the core CPI, and core CPI monthly, and CPI yearly. Everything CPI by 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Please plan to attend that one. I think we're going to have another live session for that. So let's just watch out. And by 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday, there'll be crude oil inventories. Now, if you are there, you are a crude oil trader, it's important that you partake of this event by 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday from the United States. And on Thursday, by 1:15 p.m., there'll be a Euro event, main refinancing rate, and monetary policy statement. These two will happen simultaneously, and it will lead to volatility in the market. Please take note of that. You can mark it in your calendar. And by same Thursday, by 1:30 p.m., there'll be core PPI, and unemployment claims, all by 1:30 p.m. on Thursday. Let's take note of that. And those are actually the main events we have for this week, because Friday, we don't really have any much event. The one that will move the market slightly is the prelim UM consumer sentiment and prelim UM inflation expectations, which will come by 3 p.m. The week is almost ending by that time. So if you really want to trade it, you can still plan ahead also. So all the ones I mentioned are actually the main fundamental events we are having this week. But the biggest example for this week is actually the CPI from the United States by 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday. That's the biggest of all the events. All right, so with that being said, I'll flip now. Like I said, we don't have any fundamental event today. So I'll flip over to my MT4 for us to look at the technical outlook for today and also for the week. And the first instrument I'll be looking at is the dollar index, the USDX. Now, the data from NFP came out as a conflict, but then notwithstanding, the market is getting calibrated for a bigger move this week. Let me put it that way. Because on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that despite what happened, last week, I even said it before the news that I believe a lot that price will go and complete. So there was a gap between where the market was and where it's expected to get to by that Friday. I remember saying it that price may go to fill up this, empty space and then reversing upwards. And that is what has happened. Despite with the spike, price actually still got to that support level. And now we are having a bullish outlook on the dollar index. You can see it here. We have a valid support here. a support, and a rejection candle hitting the support. And not only that, it's now giving us a view of a double bottom pattern right here, which will give us an overall bullish breakout on the dollar index. So with this, we are bullish on the dollar for this week. And if you remember, my outlook on dollar for a very long period has been a bullish one. And I think that long-term bullish outlook is finally playing out for the dollar, all things being equal in the market. And not only do we have a support rejection candle, we equally have the formation of a falling wedge pattern, which will aid the bullish breakout. So on 4 hour, this is what we'll have. This is the double bottom, and price is approaching breakout level, while we'll have the neckline over there. But then the breakout once the breakout happens, we should expect a bullish movement right on the dollar across most of the major currencies being controlled by the dollar. So since we have a bullish outlook on the dollar from the dollar index, I'm checking now the USD CHF. Now for the USD CHF, on the weekly time frame, even from the monthly time frame, you can clearly see that price is trading, on a support level. From the monthly, it's reflected on the weekly, which is what we have right here. We have a rejection candle here. And if you flip down to the 4 hour time frame, you can see that we have a falling wedge pattern. And the middle here still looks just like the dollar index, that it looks a lot like a double bottom pattern. So we have a support on the weekly time frame, a double bottom being formed on the 4 hour. That one is still information, but the one that's complete now is a falling wedge pattern. So if price breaks out above this current, minor high level there, with our RSI clearly above 50, then we can trigger a buy on the USHF on the 4 hour time frame. So it's a swing setup. And if you want to use a Fibonacci to gauge the price movement, currently price is trading at Fibonacci 23.6. A breakout above that level, some few pips, price will target Fibonacci 50, which is at 72 pips away, and Fibonacci 61.8 at 115 pips away. So I'm bullish on the USD CHF for this week. And I'm equally bullish on the US oil. I'm bullish on the US oil. Now, this is the US oil. On the weekly time frame, we can see that price, hit a support zone last week. You can see here, we have a value support zone. Price hit that support zone last week. Now, two things will happen here. If price is able to break this support zone, we will see a further bearish breakout if price breaks that support zone. And don't forget, there's going to be the news this week on the crude oil inventory on Wednesday. So that is actually the major determinant of what will happen. But then let's just look at what we can see technically to see what will happen. So if price breaks below that support zone, they will have a further bearish continuation on the crude oil. Otherwise, if this support zone will hold, then we should have a reversal on crude oil. And if you flip down to the 4 hour, you can see that we have a falling wedge pattern being formed. And if this falling wedge holds, then we should be anticipating a breakout in the bullish direction. So let's just see by fingers crossed and still watch out as the week unfolds, on this crude oil, because it's still too early to gauge the complete direction until we see some other parameters. But generally, I'm just holding a bullish outlook in a temporary measure. Let me put it that way, because if price base below that level, then that outlook may change in very direction. But generally, we know that there's a potential for a trade on the crude oil for this week on the US oil. And AUD USD is the next instrument I want to look at. Now, for the AUD USD, I remember giving this analysis about a week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember which one again now. Now we have price trending downwards on the daily time frame. Not only that, we currently have a resistance level, just right here. And I remember showing us something last week that I saw the potential for a head and shoulder. Because, yeah, at the beginning of last week, I gave, analysis analysis of a breakout here, which has already happened, on the 4-hour. But then I also said later that this is already evolving into a head and shoulder, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. So I see a further bearish breakout on the AUD/USD, coupled with the fact that we're bullish technically on the dollar. The dollar index is bullish, so I see a further bearish continuation on the AUD/USD. This is it on the 4-hour, and you can see we have a rising wedge, a head and shoulder pattern, which will lead to a further bearish breakout. At the moment, price has broken out below the neckline. So what we need here is a bearish continuation. Okay, towards the end of the class, I'll give you a signal on this and I'll post in relevant groups. I'm bearish on AUD/USD for this week because the reason why I want to give a signal is that price has actually gone back to retest this neckline and will have downward looking candle. So it's really we're really set for a sell on the AUD/USD. Then we have the GBP. Okay, maybe let that AUD/USD be for the swing traders. On the intraday level, there is a setup I'm seeing on the AUD/USD, though it's going the same direction as the I'm seeing a setup on the GBP AUD, but it's going in the same direction as the AUD/USD, which is opposite it, but it's possible since this one is looking more like a 1-hour setup. Now, while the AUD/USD is ripe for, at least almost ripe for a sell, this one I don't know when it's going to evolve, but if you're there, a day trader, you can still, take a look at this. Now, for the AUD GBP AUD, pardon me, for the GBP US AUD, pardon me, is we have a resistance on the daily time frame, right between this zone here and the candle for last week touched that resistance a third time. Now, at a closer look, this is looking like it's forming a double top, which may also drop, but that's futuristic. But then let's look at the resistance. Our main focus on now is the resistance level up there. So if you flip down to the 4-hour, you can also see that this is looking like it's trying to form a double top. If price pulls up again, it has a double top, which may lead to a bearish movement. So I can just draw my trend line right here and have another one at the back as we anticipate that price will pull up. The price will pull up here to hit the resistance, form a double top, then we'll have a bearish breakout. So I hold the bearish outlook on the GBP AUD on the 1-hour, pending any other change in the market. Then I also, now all the setup I've been giving so far, they are all 4-hour, except for this GBP AUD is a 1-hour bearish setup. And I also have a Euro New Zealand setup also on the 1-hour time frame. Now for the Euro New Zealand, we can clearly see here that price is trending downwards. We have a downtrend up to this region. Then we have a rising wedge pattern there, all on the 4-hour. And if we flip down to the 1-hour, we're having a resistance level here with price trying to form what looks like a triple top pattern. Now, if this level, this minor resistance level, if it holds, then we'll see a reversal downwards from here, from where we can actually take a sell on the Euro New Zealand. So I'm bearish on the Euro New Zealand on the 1-hour. So for those who are day traders, I will encourage you look more at the GBP AUD because it's a 1-hour setup. The Euro New Zealand is a 1-hour setup. For swing traders, all the ones I mentioned earlier, they are all swing. Dollar index, USD CHF, US oil, AUD USD, they're all swing. They're all on 4 hours, except for the GBP AUD and Euro New Zealand, which are 1-hour setup. And finally, I have the CAD JPY. Now, for the CAD JPY, we can see that on the weekly time frame, we have price, trending up. Now, I've always said that I hold a long-term bullish outlook on the JPY pairs. I think finally, they're trying to now go in that direction. We have an uptrend there on the weekly time frame with a support, a valid support, right there on the weekly. Now, the candle for last week closed on that confluence point there where we have an intersection between the trend line and the support right here. So we expect a bullish movement, in the course of this week, probably starting from today. It all depends on the market movement. You can see the candle there is already trying to form, a bullish movement. While this bigger one looks a lot like a double bottom, which will also give us a bullish breakout. And if you flip down to 1 hour, this is what we'll have on the 1 hour. So we have a rising wedge pattern. Now, with what I'm seeing is possible price drops again to form a double bottom and break out upwards. And if that does not happen, it's not a lot that it must happen that way. Another view is what looks like an inverse head and shoulder, which could break out upwards, But if that fails also, I know that ultimately what I'm looking out for is just a breakout here. It's not mandatory that the patterns will form. If it forms, it's just an additional layer of information. But if it doesn't form as we anticipate, then that doesn't stop us from trading it as long as we get a breakout. Because right from the weekly to the daily time frame, we've seen that we are in a very critical level, an uptrend and a support level or a support zone, which should give us a bullish breakout. So we'll trigger a buy when price breaks out, above the trend line, and our RSI is clearly above 50. Now, in this particular scenario, if MACD crosses above 0, that is also a stronger indication of a bullish breakout on CAD JPY. All right, so that'll be all from my own table this morning from my analysis. I'll do a rundown of all the instruments I've analyzed. I said I'm bullish on the dollar index on the 4-hour. I'm bullish on the USD CHF on the 4-hour. I'm bullish on US oil. Though I say that US oil is still dependent on the news on Wednesday, but temporarily for now, let's still take the bullish direction. I'm bearish on the AUD USD, also on the 4-hour. Then on the 1-hour, I'm bearish on the GBP AUD, I'm bearish on Euro New Zealand, and I'm bullish on CAD JPY. So that's my own personal analysis for today and for this week. I can see people already dropping what you have and give my view. But please take note that my grade 1 setup are the ones I've mentioned. What I'm doing going forward now is I'm responding to individuals. For anybody that is not the one asking, it's not really mandatory that you follow this other analysis we're doing now. It's just an advice and reason because some of these people have running trades, because sometimes I hear people now take multiple trades because of all this second level analysis. Please, this second analysis, take it for those specific people that are asking about it, except if you're already on the trade on it. That's when you work with that. Otherwise, please stick with the analysis I've given by myself. All right, so let's look at what we have. GBP JPY from Bello Mohammed. Yeah, even though we have a long-term bullish outlook on the JPY pair, for me, the GBP JPY didn't hit a support zone. I will only consider it for a buy if price can drop down to touch this support, then bouncing off from there. That's why we see on the JPY pairs are more specific on the CAD JPY because that's fulfilled more of the criteria compared to the other ones. So because we have a valid support, let me check again. Well, if you're looking at it from the weekly angle, there is a slight touch. Okay. From the weekly angle, there's a slight touch. So on the 1 hour, this is what I think may happen. Before my inverse head and shoulder from that region I just drew now. And we can still also draw a trend line here to trigger us into an early entry. So we still have a falling wedge. So I think the same thing that's happening to the CAD JPY may happen to the GBP JPY. We're still expecting a bullish breakout from that region with RSI above 50 and possibly MACD above 0. However, I want to encourage that person to trade GBP JPY with a lot of caution because it's an extremely volatile instrument. GBP USD. Okay. Now for GBP USD, yes, we are bullish on the dollar, and GBP USD it's a resistance. We have a resistance level here. This is the weekly time frame, and resistance and support, and price is back to that level here as a resistance. So we have a support turn resistance on the weekly time frame, and on the daily, we have a rejection candle here for which closed last Friday. So technically, we're expecting a downward movement on the GBP USD. But then if we zoom down to the 4 hour, honestly, I'm not seeing maybe a trend line or any other thing to use to trigger me into an entry. But technically, I'm seeing it as a bearish trend. So if you're already on the trade on it, you may hold it as a bearish trade. That's the direction. So we're bearish on the GBP USD. Gold. All right. Like I said earlier, we're bullish on the dollar. So technically, we could be bearish on gold. Though I will advise you take a little caution. Now, this is gold on daily time frame. And you can see that gold formed a triple top pattern right here on the daily. Now, it looks like it's going downwards, it's going bearish, but at the same time, we should not neglect the fact that there is a support level here on the daily. We have a support level, and we have a resistance, turned support, and price is very close to that level. So it depends. If the volatility is strong enough to break it, yeah, we'll see a bearish breakout. But then if there is no sufficient liquidity to push that, then we may see some retracement right here. So let me go back to the 4 hour and the day and the 1 hour. So you can see our 4 hour price is close to that support zone. In fact, we have a clearer one here on the 4 hour. Yeah, so that's a better outlook of the support. We have a resistance here, turned support, and prices approaching that level. A triple top right up here. So like I said again, if price touches the support zone, which is acting like the neckline, there is a resistance on support. If the volatility is not strong enough, we may see a reversal or a retracement from that place. But if there's sufficient volatility to break that support level or that's a neckline region, then we'll have a breakout. So we're on a short-term buy and possibly a medium-term sell on gold. USD CAD and Euro USD. Now for USD cards, I'll be a bit cautious with it for now. That's why I didn't mention it. We have price trending up on the weekly time frame. You can see we have an uptrend, price bouncing off the trend line, and the price got here. Technically, we should have a bullish movement. And on 4 hour, I'm sorry, on the same weekly time frame, we have a support. We have a support zone. You can see the support line right there, because the previous week candle here was a rejection candle. So and this whole region is a support zone. So technically, we have a bullish breakout. I'm a little bit concerned because of what happened right here. It's should we expect a bullish breakout? Well, maybe technically yes, but I'll still be a little bit cautious because what I'm seeing here is giving me some kind of vibe with the kind of pattern setup I'm seeing. I think it's possible price may drop before continuing. That's just from uh, my technical outlook personally, except the market decides to do its thing. Because I'm seeing this is trying to form a kind of a double bottom and a break. Even though we're bullish on the dollar, but I'll be very, very careful of just taking a buy from here. The pattern is not aligning. It's not aligning like that for just a continuation. So personally, I'll be very careful. That's why I didn't mention USD card, even though the dollar is bullish. I'm not too convinced of a breakout in the bullish direction from the pattern I'm seeing here. It's possible price drops, and in that instance, if I form something that may look like an inverse head and shoulder, then now break out. So that's just my own personal view of the USD card. Now, if it happens otherwise, you can watch it closely. For that person asking, you might watch it closely. If there's a breakout and you're convinced to buy, well, there's no harm in that. I only give my own personal view. And USD card and Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD is just like the GBP USD. I'm not seeing the clarity as regards the entry like that. So, and that's why I purposely stayed out, of these two instruments. Okay, I think on a closer look, we might be getting something on the Euro USD. That GBP USD one is just not too good. You can see the same pattern. Price hit a resistance here, and another rejection candle here, which may lead to a bearish breakout. But then on a closer look on 4 hour, I think it's better. As when I checked last night, it wasn't looking this like this, but I think it's getting better now as we're starting the week. Trying to form. So it's not a perfect one, but maybe it looked like a head and shoulder and possibly a drop. But I tell you, the best one to trade this morning is either the USD CHF for a buy or the AED USD for a sell. All these other ones are just trying to manage them. They are not giving clarity. The ones, like I said, where there's clarity is the USD CHF. If it breaks out here, it's a perfect setup for a buy. The AUD USD is also a very perfect one for a sell. Where is the AUD USD? Yeah, head and shoulder, perfect. So all the GBP USD, Euro USD, just as I said, follow the main analysis I've done. All these other ones, except these people that are asking are already on the trade on it. If you're not on the trade on all these ones, please ignore them. Stick with what I said. I'm bullish on the USD CHF. I'm bearish on the AED USD. Those ones are very, very clear. RM Spectre, good morning, sir. Can you check AUD? Do you mean AUD USD? Because what I see here is a ADA USD. So I need clarity. RM Spectre, do you mean ADA USD or AUD USD? Raju Akman, USD JPY. ADA USD. ADA USD should be a crypto, if I'm right. You just confirmed you wanted ADA USD. Okay, we'll check it. Um, so this is ADA USD. Excuse me. Now we have a valid support level here on the ADA USD. And last week closed as a rejection candle. So technically, we should see some bullish movement this week. But on the daily, okay, let me just quickly run something before I speak. Okay, now my best view for this from my own angle of analysis is this. If price pulls up to hit this trend line, we may look for an opportunity to sell downwards. Currently, there is no tradable opportunity, but the only way I can see an opportunity coming up, we have a down trend line here, and if price pulls up here to hit that trend line, it's possible we have a decline. Price may retrace downwards, for an opportunity to sell. However, this region here is actually a critical level because on another angle, this is looking a lot like a double bottom pattern. So if price breaks this level with a full candle above this trend line, we'll have a bullish continuation because of this look like a double bottom right here. And if price hits this level and forms a rejection candle, then we will sell downwards. So that's my view on ADAUSD. That's for RM Spectra that asked for that.
Sir, please, which instrument is the ADA?
It's a crypto. It's a
Okay.
cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I asked clarification. I wanted to know whether the person made a mistake by saying ADA. Maybe he wanted AUDUSD. But since he confirmed it's ADAUSD, yes, I know there's a crypto called ADAUSD. That's why I just analyzed it for him.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Raji is asking about USDJPY. This is the USDJPY. Now for the USDJPY, let me check again. Okay, good. We have an uptrend line here. At least there's a slight touch here, and we'll have, that area also touching the trend line. So technically, we have a continuation, and okay, on the monthly time frame, we have a support here. The price has not, dropped to that level yet. Okay, I think what we can work with now, because price didn't touch, except price drops down to this support level. It's not mandatory though. It's not mandatory though, because on this trend line, price has hit the trend line. So we'll have a possible continuation. And don't forget, we are bullish on the dollar for this week. Okay, so let's check the daily. And we can as well take this place as this lower rejection candle as still a part of the support level here. So we can still have this as a kind of a confluence, and we expect a bullish breakout. 4-hour, and you can see on 4-hour time frame, it's looking like we have a kind of a double bottom kind of scenario, and on 1 hour. All right, so just like the other JPY pairs, it's still a bullish one, though there's been some. This is the spike from the NFP last Friday. We have a falling wedge pattern. So like the other JPY pairs, we expect a bullish breakout. And don't forget that just like the other JPY pairs, but then this one is even the dollar. So, and we are bullish on the dollar. That might lead to a breakout here. I don't want to mention any other pattern coming within. It's not really necessary. RSI is currently above 50. If MACD is above 0, that's a stronger indication of a bullish movement. But generally, if price breaks out above this upper trend line, our RSI is already 50. You can trigger a buy on the USD JPY. We're bullish on the USD JPY, and that's also further to the fact that we're bullish on the dollar index. So we should see the dollar, break out here into the bullish direction. So I'm bullish on the USD JPY. I've analyzed gold, Mr. Joshua Corey. Okay, Pristine, do you place support, resistance, and trend? I believe you mean trend line at the end of the body of the candle or the wick. Primarily at the end of the body. But you see, sometimes these things can be flexible. The wick can also, that's the shadows, can also be involved. So it depends. But primarily at the body. The body is the first point of call. But when you now want to look at support and resistance as a zone, to look at it as a zone, yeah, sometimes you may have to touch the shadow or the wick. Yeah, because support and resistance, if you want to restrict it to the body alone, that means you're saying that your support and resistance is just always a whole number. But there are many instances where support and resistance is not a whole number, and that's when you combine the wick or the shadow. It's, for me, I do it based on discretion and what I'm seeing. So it depends on how the market, brings out the pattern. You're welcome, Aaron Spectra. All right, I think I've attended to all the requests here. I've attended to all. So that will be all for this morning. Again, for the benefit of those who are joining us late, after this class, just so you can wait for some minutes, the link will be uploaded on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel. Just on YouTube, just search for PU Prime Africa, and you will get access to a lot of educative content from PU Prime. And I also want to encourage you to subscribe to that channel. I'll just type it, go to, oh, sorry, I think I didn't write that correctly. PU Prime Africa. Go on YouTube and type PU Prime Africa. You will see, our YouTube channel there. PU Prime Africa on YouTube. So you see our YouTube channel there. You can watch a lot of educative content, and you can search for this specific video. It's not going to be immediate. It takes some time, but then it will surely be uploaded, and you can watch it over and over again. So again, for emphasis, this morning we've analyzed the dollar index, and we're bullish on the 4-hour. USD CHF, we're bullish on 4-hour. US oil, we're bullish on 4-hour, pending the outcome of the crude oil inventory on Wednesday. On AED USD, we are bearish on the 4-hour. And for the 1-hour setup, we're bearish on the GBP AUD on 1 hour. We're bearish on the Euro New Zealand for 1 hour. And we're bullish on CAD JPY for 1 hour. All right, so that'll be the end of the analysis this morning. Please trade safe and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, sir. Have a great day.
You too, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.